quick. Compost teas actually is a quick release. So what you're doing is you're mixing your nutrients, you're putting them into a tea bag, your compost, cow manure, and all that type of good stuff to help build up the microbial life, to help actually release the nutrients in those nutrients, to make them water soluble, so to say, so the plants can uptake it immediately, either whether you're fully feeding or if you're just doing a soil drench. And compost tea will also run off pests and bugs, believe it or not, because the microbes actually outpower everything. Compost teas also help to prevent mold and mildew because of the microorganisms. The microorganisms will eat this stuff and eradicate the whole entire problem. Now that right there is the compost tea. Yes, it looks disgusting. Yes, it looks nasty, but this stuff is so beneficial to your soil and your plants. When you're doing compost teas, I hope you guys can hear me, you want to aerate it. So get you something to where you can, create bubbles to get the air circulating in the pot. Also, with your compost teas, if you do not see this foam, if you do not see it foaming, then your microbial life is not very, very heavy. You don't have a heavy presence of microbial life if you do not see this foam. The foam is a good thing. You want to see foam. That lets you know that you're doing the compost tea right, and it's very, very nutrient rich. I want to show you guys the little pump actually too. So here's the pump. That pump in the whole kit, it comes with a bigger aerator to where I can brew up to like 55 or 65 gallons of water of compost tea. Rainwater is best. So if you can collect rainwater and then start your compost tea, that's the best. That's always going to be the best. Anything that comes from nature, comes from the universe, is always going to be the best stuff. Your city water, your tap water or whatnot, it has chlorine in it. It has a bunch of other materials in it so that we can consume it, to make it safe for us to consume, so to say. So by it having chlorine in it, what you want to do is fill your bucket up a day before you start your actual compost tea brew or whatnot. And what you want to do is kind of go out there and just give it a stir every so often. You don't have to run out there every minute or every hour or nothing like that. Just whenever you think about it, go out and stir your water. What I usually do, I come out and I kick the side of the bucket just to get the water to moving around. What this does, you do this for 24 hours. What this does is it dechlorinizes the water. So the chlorine will escape from the water. Now you just have a pure source of water. Then you start your brew. It actually comes with a tea bag. It's a big mesh bag, basically, where big thick particles cannot escape from the bag and bleed off into your water. Now some small particles and fine powder and stuff like that will leach off into the water, but hey, that's fine. You can actually utilize that. You can put all that stuff back into the soil. Nothing in that bucket goes to waste. Even the materials, when I pull the bag out and you still see the compost and all that stuff that's been brewed, I bury that stuff right back into my soil. It's feeding the soil and not the plant. I swear to God it is. Now, what I have in there is my booze blend compost. That's basically cow manure. That's a certain compost that I use, cow manure that I use. I have fish compost in there as well, and I have some kelp meal in there to help with root production and fruit production, and some worm castings in there. And I have 2 other ingredients that's actually in here that I'm not gonna tell y'all because I can't give away my full recipe, because hey, I plan to market and sell this stuff, and it will be on the bottle, on the containers and stuff like that, because I have to do that when you're selling anything and you're trying to produce it, and put it in stores, or you just have to inform people of what's in it, the ingredients and stuff like that. You want to strain it when you get done brewing it. I brew mine for 24 hours. You can brew a compost tea up to 48 hours. Anything over 48 hours, you're actually killing off a lot of the beneficial microbes